Are you? Well, you're not going to like sort of chat to me throughout?
Am I?
Do you know the intro for this one? Usually on the channel it's Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is your Arabic teacher Sam, and a very warm welcome back to another Arabic language lesson with me. And sometimes I get a bit awkward, I'm like, with me, Sam, and I sort of remind them that I'm Sam.
You've got to remind me who you are.
Sometimes you've got to remind them who you are on the channel.
Otherwise, wouldn't they?
But with this one, this is Arabic Literature Tuesday. So, okay.
I've got to say walaikum salam, because I'm in the process.
I suppose you do, actually, yeah. I suppose you do. Okay. And when I say everyone, it includes you. Yeah, exactly. So. Okay. Bismillah. I'm going to start now. Right, okay, but if you don't hear me saying Assalamu alaikum, you might be excused from that. I don't know. We'll have to get a fatwa on that. We'll have to have a look at it.
Walaikum salam in advance.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everybody, and a very warm welcome to episode 2 of Literature Tuesdays. Literature Tuesday, isn't it? Assalamu alaikum. Shut up for 1 minute. Assalamu alaikum everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the second episode of Arabic Literature Tuesdays, where we're going over the second part, the next 10 verses of Nizar Qabbani's Qira'atul Finjan. So in the last lesson, as you guys know, obviously we went through the first 10 lines. We got down to this verse which was وَحَيَاتُكَ أَسْفَارٌ وَحَرُوب, that this young lad would have in his hayat, in his life, he would have asfar, he would have lots of travels, وَحَرُوب, حَرُوب being the plural of the word harbun, which means a war, so he'd have travels and wars in his life. If I was him, I'd ask for his money back, to be honest, because she's given him a lot of bad news. So let's move on, right? So I'll read it through for you, just like I did in the last video. And if you hear any rustling, by the way, my mate Ash is sitting there, so hopefully he won't interrupt us at all. But he's sitting there. Yeah, thought as much. So
I don't even break it anyway.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. So what do we have? ستحب كثيرا وكثيرا وتموت كثيرا وكثيرا وستعشق كل نساء الأرض وترجع كالملك المغلوب بحياتك يا ولدي امرأة عيناها سبحان المعبود فمها مرسوم كالعنقود ضحكتها موسيقى وورود. Very nice. So we begin with, I'm going to highlight it as we go actually, so you know where I am. I'm not got my pen tablet to analyse on it today, but we'll run through it. So where do we start? ستحب كثيرا وكثيرا. Firstly, with reading Arabic poetry, something you should know that differs from the Quran. When we have here كثيرا وكثيرا, if you're reading the Quran, you'd say كثيرا وكثيرا. But in Arabic poetry, you don't need to apply the rules of tajweed. Those are specifically for the Quran. But for poetry, we say تحب كثيرا وكثيرا. كثير means a lot. So what's going to happen to him a lot? تحب, it means you will love. You will love a lot and a lot. Next, وتموت كثيرا وكثيرا. Literally means you will die a lot. But I mean you can only obviously die once. I mean the rhetoric of the poem obviously it implies that it means you will suffer a lot, right? It means you will suffer a lot. Good. وستعشق كل نساء الأرض. You might not have heard of the word ishq before. Ishq is like hub, but it's like hub shadid. It's severe love. You don't say ishq for things that are more like light-hearted love. Ishq is you'll have deep love for كل نساء الأرض, for all of the women of the ard, of the earth. وترجع كالملك المغلوب, and you'll return as a malik, as a king who has been maghloob. The verb ghalaba means to defeat, so he'll have been defeated. That's in the pattern maf'ul, the passive participle pattern. So you will return as a defeated king. You might have heard that verb ghalaba if you've listened or recited Surah Al-Rum. In the beginning, it begins with ghulibat al-Rum. The Romans have been defeated. There's many places where we see the verb ghalaba, but it means to defeat, or in this case, it's the king, the malik, who has been maghloob. We move on to the next verse, the next sort of stanza. بحياتك يا ولدي, sort of saying in your life. Literally by hayat, by the life of yours. بحياتك يا ولدي, oh my boy, امرأة. And imra'a just means a woman. So in your life, oh my boy, there will be a woman. عيناها, her two eyes. Subhan al-Ma'bud. A lot of you might be sort of familiar with the expression when Muslims say Subhanallah, like glory to Allah. The term Ma'bud is literally just the passive participle of the verb abada, meaning to worship. So it's a worshipped thing. You know, Subhan al-Ma'bud. I don't know if it's worth making a note that, obviously Nizar Qabbani chooses often not to use Islamic terms in his poetry. Al-Ma'bud just means the worshipped thing. Obviously we say Subhanallah because Allah is Ma'bud to us, but he says Subhan al-Ma'bud. But also it's just for rhyme. It rhymes with Maghloob. It rhymes with the next abiyat of poetry that are Kal-Unqud, Wurud. It rhymes, Ma'bud, Unqud, Wurud. So her eyes, glory to Allah, glory to the worshipped one, is how amazing her eyes are. Femuha, her fem, her mouth. Fem is a really strange word actually, the plural of which is I think is afwah, which is really strange. The meme sort of just goes missing. Femuha, her mouth is marsoom. The verb rasama, meaning to draw. So marsoom is again this wazn maf'ul, this passive participle is all over the place in this poem, and it's usually used for rhyme, like it rhymes. That's kind of the qafiyah, the rhyming letters for most of these verses of poetry. But so her mouth is drawn. It's like it's been drawn. Like what? Kal unqud. The word unqud literally means like a bunch of grapes. Like I don't know if that's normal sort of imagery in Arabic poetry to picture a woman's lips or her mouth as being like a bunch of grapes. I suppose it means they're sort of full and ripe. Obviously we don't use that in English. Yes, it's strange. Yeah, but we don't use that obviously in English. But it makes sense in the Arabic. And the word unqud is a good one to know if you're into literature generally. Like some of you might know about John Steinbeck's novel. Actually, do you know what it's called in English? Grapes of Wrath? John Steinbeck's novel. Yeah. So in Arabic, the John Steinbeck's novel Grapes of Wrath is called Anaqid al-Ghadab. The bunches of grapes of ghadab, of wrath. Next, this is the last verse we'll do for today, I think. ضحكتها, her ضحكة is her laugh. So her laugh from the verb ضحكة. Her ضحكة is like musiqa. No prizes for guessing what that means. It means music, right? It's borrowed from English. Musiqa. وورود. And roses. The word warda means a rose, and wurud are roses, but or flowers. Wurud. But I don't know how a laugh can be like flowers, but it's just part of the rhyme. It rhymes with ma'bud and unqud and wurud. So it's for the rhyme, right? Sometimes there's sort of a bit of poetic license. Poets can say things that don't have that don't obviously flow with the meaning, or maybe even bend the rules of grammar sometimes, but it's called poetic license when Arabic poets can do that. I think we'll do one more verse actually, because I wanted to do 10. How many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll do 2 more actually, so we'll do 10. لكن سماءك ممطرة. This لكن just means but. Those of you out there who speak Somali, you guys will know lakin. It just means but. لكن سماءك. The sama just means the sky. So your sky is mumtara, from the word matar, meaning the rain. If it's mumtara, then it's raining. But your sky is rainy. It's it's ominous. It's like you're I don't know. It's just going to be a grey day for you. It's not looking good for you. وطريقك, and your tariq. Your tariq is just your way or your path. Is masdoodun, masdood. The verb sedda means to block or something. I think a sedd is a dam actually. One of the meanings of sedd is a dam. There's that passage in Surah Yasin. Go and look for it, inshallah, in Surah Yasin when Allah talks about people having like on their necks is a seal, like the people of the non-Muslims, that they're only looking in one direction, like people who aren't open-minded basically. But it uses the verb sedd in here, and as Nizar Qabbani loves to do in this poem, he's using the pattern, the wazn maf'ul again, masdood. So if you take the verb sedda, meaning to be blocked, masdood, it is a thing that's being blocked. It's the passive, it's been blocked. Your path has been blocked. Masdoodun, masdood. And that's where he rounds off. That's where he rounds off with those last of those 10 verses. Good. So we've got 2 more of these videos coming up. This one, we've got a beautiful day here in Cornwall, alhamdulillah, so I thought we'd use the space outside. Hopefully you can't hear all the crows over there. They're screeching over there. They've been at it since, like 8 in the morning, Asher? they've been screeching. So hopefully you can hear my voice more, relentless, no less. So hopefully you can hear my voice more clearly than you can hear theirs. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. We'll try to keep this on Tuesdays. We'll keep this in line with Arabic Literature Tuesdays. And we're doing a lot of other videos on the channel, inshallah, where we kind of take a passage of Arabic and we'll start to unpick it. I really like that style. I know a lot of you guys like that style, so that'll be a big part of the focus going forward on this channel, inshallah. And if you enjoyed this video, and I really hope you did, don't forget to like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that so you get notifications as well when the new video is coming out. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. And I bid you goodbye with a very warm Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.